All right, your second video today is dividing fractions. Dividing fractions. This is another one that I love and I think that you'll remember it. So let's review really fast, see how we can do it. Remember that dividing fractions are important rules. Hey guys, I'm doing a video. Shh. My family's loud today. We've got keep, change, flip. It's just like KFC, except we're flipping those, right? We change those around. We're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to change the sign to multiplication. Really, remember yesterday or the previous video when I told you that multiplication is the easiest thing to do with fractions? Well, really, when we divide, we actually are doing multiplication. We just have to change a couple things. So dividing fractions is really easy. We got this. Okay, so keep the first fraction, change the sign to multiplication, and then the last part is flip. Flip the second fraction. We're flipping the second fraction over, right? Okay, so let's do one. Let's just try it out. So say I've got 3/4 divided by 1/4. Okay, let's follow our chart here. We're going to keep the first fraction. This stays the same. It's going to stay the same. I'm going to bring it down just to show we are the same. Okay, 3/4, the same. The next one says change. We're going to change our sign. We're not going to do division. We're going to change it to multiplication. Okay, which actually is the opposite of division. Multiplication is the opposite of division. So when we flip the second fraction over, we're using the opposite operation. That's why it works. We're going to flip this last fraction. So instead of 1/4, we're going to do 4/1. There we go. Now, we could multiply straight across. We talked about this yesterday, right? We could multiply straight across. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4. 12/4. Well, we do have to reduce this, right? We definitely have to reduce because this is an improper fraction. And we actually know that 12 divided by 4 is 3. So this reduces to 3. But there's another way that we could actually do our multiplication as well, and that is to cross-reduce before. Let's try it out and see if we get the same answer. So we're going to cross-reduce. 3 and 1 are as low as they're going to go already. But 4 and 4, those could be divided by the same number, right? They could both be divided by 4. If I divide 4 by 4, I get 1. And if I divide 4 by 4, I get another 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. 3/1 equals 3. There we go. We just did dividing fractions. Not too bad, right? Let's see if we can do one that's a little bit harder, though. Ooh, I got to come up with one off the top of my head. I didn't do this before. I'm going to do 1 3/4 divided by 5/6. Looks a little difficult, but we can do this. First, I want to change this from a mixed number to an improper fraction, okay? 1 times 4 is 4, plus 3 is 7. And I keep the same denominator, so 7/4. I could double check this. Let's see, 4 goes into 7 one time with 3 left over, keep the same denominator. That's right, we got it. Okay, so we're going to keep this first fraction, 7/4. Keep it, leave it, it's good to go. We're going to change our sign to multiplication, and then we're going to flip our second fraction. We're going to just flip it upside down. So instead of 5/6, we're going to do 6/5. Okay, now, I'm going to try to cross-reduce here. 7 and 5, could they both be divided by the same number? No. The only thing they could be divided by is 1, and that would just give us 7 and 5. So those ones are good to go. 4 and 6, could those be divided by the same number? Yes, they could both be divided by 2. All right, so I'm going to divide this by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Shh. Okay, so now we got to multiply straight across. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 5 is 10. We got 21 tenths, but we can't leave it like that because it's an improper fraction. We need to change it to a mixed number. 10 goes into 20, 2 times, right? Because 10 times 2 is 20. Okay, so it goes in there 2 times with 1 left over because 10 times 2 is 20. This is a 21. 21 minus 20 is 1. 1 left over. And we keep the same denominator. So our answer would be 2 and 1/10. So 1 3/4 divided by 5/6 is 2 and 1/10. That's your review video. That's all I'm going to give you today because I think that's pretty easy. Just remember to keep, change, flip. And if you need to write that on the top of a scrap paper or a sticky note, make it into a bookmark, whatever you need to do to remember this, you'll be just fine because multiplying fractions straight across isn't difficult at all. So I think you got this. Good luck. We'll talk soon.